Hey everybody, it's Cassandra Edwards, also known as San, the founder of the Chosen Few Financial Empowerment and Wellness Workshops. I am also your host with the QuickWits interviews, which are 3 to 5 minute segments with like-minded professionals. Today, I'm so excited and happy to have Mr. CJ Willis of Wiremonkey. What's going on, Mr. CJ?
How are you doing, Cassandra? How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm excited about doing this interview with you because we had some chats. And man, look, you're such a complex person, and I'm just learning more and more from you every time we have a conversation. Tell us about Wiremonkey. We get the formal introductions out of the way.
Okay, Wiremonkey AV has been in business for 17 years. We're very proud of that. We do everything from very simple stuff, which is I need my TV mounted, to things where we need disclosure agreements because you don't want anybody to know how your security camera works, how your interest works, how access control works. So yeah, we've had to sign a few pieces of paper in our career.
That's good stuff, man. That's like next level stuff. I'm like the best I'll probably ever do is go and buy one of those doorbells at Lowe's. My son works at Lowe's. I go and buy one of those and hook it up, and I'll be like, yes, I'm the champion.
Well, those are good too.
Yeah.
We we've just done a little work for some of those three-letter organizations, so
Oh, for the alphabets.
yeah.
Okay, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Look, and I know I would ask you which alphabets y'all did some stuff with, but you might have to kill me, so we're gonna leave that alone.
Yes, please. I don't need to come to the house like CJ. Let's talk. Oh no, let's not. Let's not.
Right, right. And this is going to be in rotation all over the country and across the world. I'm a business advocate, so it's my passion and my purpose to introduce like-minded individuals. So that's what we're doing with this 3 to 5 minute interview, which I already know 3 to 5 minutes because we got so much to talk about, and I want to make sure we share with people. So just for clarity, you guys, CJ and Wiremonkey are here in Columbia, South Carolina. You want to tell them about what areas you service?
We service all of South Carolina, parts of North Carolina, and parts of Georgia.
Okay. What's some of the areas that you go to the most in North Carolina and Georgia?
Uh, North Carolina, Waxhaw. Believe it or not, the upper end of Charlotte, Waxhaw. We do a lot of work in Waxhaw, and in Augusta, it's like off of Washington Boulevard. It's kind of up in the cut, but it's and again another middle class neighborhood.
Hmm.
So we do a lot of work there.
You guys get most of your work by referrals, don't you?
Yeah, we get a lot of work by referral. We have great marketing. We do internet marketing. We do Facebook marketing. One of our guys that you probably see all the time is JB, your friendly neighborhood technician. So he's out there. We figured out a long time ago, rather than one person trying to do everything,
Mhm.
let's pull a team together and let everybody do their specialty.
That's important. That's important. And, I like to talk about that a lot with other entrepreneurs because I know for, say, like entrepreneurs who have just been in business for a short period of time, or they just like, this is their first business, they just kind of getting their feet wet, or they doing some type of MLM, which I've done a lot of in my background. They haven't quite figured out that it really is about you staying in your lane and dominating your lane. You don't have to
Right.
try to morph into everybody else. Just because they're doing something that works well for them doesn't mean it's what you have to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my things that I tell every customer is this: God gave everybody a talent. Do your talent and let
Right,
somebody else do theirs. You
right.
know.
That's right. I know one of the things that I really get excited about is talking about mindset with
Yeah.
other entrepreneurs. What do you feel like are some of the keys to having a winning mindset in entrepreneurship?
The first thing I would say is team. You gotta have a team. I have JB, I have Kim Possible, I have different people that make it work. And when I say make it work, I don't mean I have to babysit them. I mean I can run past them and say, I need to get this done. And their thing is, we got it. You
Mm,
know,
yeah.
um, you got to have a team, and you got to have people on your team who are going to make the load lighter.
Wow. That's heavy. That's good stuff. A lot of times I talk with some of the different business owners that I collaborate with, and tell them, man, we got to put together a think tank. That's one of the
Right.
ways that I want to support business owners, because you could have been in business for 30 years and something shifted in your life. Like myself, I just retired from a 25-year career as a dreadlock specialist.
Right.
Well, working with my hands every day, not taking care of myself, not taking breaks, not eating like I should. I put on a bunch of weight, and that took a toll on my body. So at 40
Right.
years old, I was a 5-year career doing hair.
Right.
I could barely use my right arm. My
Right.
feet hurt every time I stood on them. I
Right.
went from working 10 and 14 hours a day to not being able to stand for 10 minutes.
Right.
So you could go through something that you didn't see coming, and now you have to make an adjustment.
Right.
So, that's what with the Chosen Few, my purpose is to really help other business owners kind of pivot and do the things that you need to do to overcome what the current circumstances are. If you had something happen to you personally, or like with COVID, it's forcing people to adjust the way they do business. What do you see a lot of as you help? I know, because I know you guys are you into a lot of different things. What are some of the ways that you're helping the other business owners you collaborate with?
Well, I do a lot of things. That's in our team. That's one of the things I do. So what we'll do with the people that want to help and really want to invest their time in it, we'll sit down, we'll listen to you, what you got, and we'll figure out how to make the most of what you got. Even if it's, we had a young lady we interviewed earlier this week, and we gave her a plan to she was in a unique financial and personal and business situation, and we gave her a method for getting out. Anybody can say, "Oh, this is sad. This is whatever," but at that moment, you don't need somebody to tell you it's sad. You need somebody to tell you, how do you get out of the situation? What are my next steps?
Give me a blueprint.
Yeah.
Or at least give me a push in the right direction. If you're not the person that can give me the blueprint, introduce me to someone who can.
Right. Right.
That's important, because I actually I'm working on I think I'm gonna start a blog, because I like to just kind of rant on Facebook. But I think I'm going to start a blog where I put these little entries in there, like articles, and just talking about like the way I see entrepreneurship is like the ultimate sport.
Yes.
So the I guess the essay that I just wrote up was talking about how, as an entrepreneur, you really become a lot like a trained athlete.
Yes.
Let me look at my little notes that I made to myself here. So I really want to get this right. But at the end of the day, you have to learn how to arm yourself with education of your industry. Your weapon is your craft.
Right.
And you add it with resilience, because everything that happens to you is going to affect you some kind of way. It might be a small hit, or it might be a career-ending hit.
Right.
If you have injuries hit you, man, sometimes you can't just get right up after that. You may be used to doing it, and you may have done it for a long time, but the impact of injury sidelining you in the game of entrepreneurship, it can just be devastating.
Well, see, that's where your teammates come in. If you you have to have almost a different thing. First of all, if you're an entrepreneur, you need other people around you who are entrepreneurs, not business owners. See, okay, you got different categories. And this is a thing I told Kim a couple of years ago. You got people that are business owners. That simply means they own a business.
Right.
And then you have people that own a business. Let me start with that. Then you have business owners. Business owners are fully committed to their business. They don't got a plan B. It either works or they starve.
Right. That's right.
Then you got like executives and CEOs. They have gotten the 10,000 foot view of the business, and their thing is to make it grow, because and everyone has a different level of responsibility. Be a one-man show and own a business. If you want to go to work, fine. If you don't want to go to work, fine. And if you make any money this week, fine. If you don't, fine. When you become a business owner, it's usually when you start to pick up people that you are responsible for.
Right. So if you're not focused, you're gonna have somebody else's family being homeless.
Boom. That's the point I want you to get right there. And then when you start becoming an executive or a CEO or however you choose to title yourself, You have multiple people that if you don't get it right, somebody starves. Somebody's kid doesn't eat.
Right. So it sounds good to say I'm a CEO, but if you don't understand the way that that actually applies in real life, that may not be what you really want, because everything is not for everybody.
Right. Right.
Talk to people about entrepreneurship versus employment. You know, whether you're in corporate America and you're trying to climb the ladder, or you just want to make more money on your job, where you go and they tell you how much they pretty much dictate your lifestyle to you, but that comes with the so-called benefit of security, or as I call it, pseudo security.
You know what? Here's what I have, because I was it before I was ever a great boss, I was a great employee.
Right.
And that I'm gonna tie what you're saying and what I'm saying getting together. I've been through 3 or 4 companies where they had layoffs, and you know what I noticed? The people that were there early, stayed late, didn't leave at 5 o'clock, can make whatever they had to do to get the project done. Those are usually not the people that get laid off.
Wow, that's powerful. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm glad I'm throwing hair around, but that's a perspective that I never had reason to get, because I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I went to military after high school, and I worked a little random job here or there. Thinking, oh, I'm gonna try out this employment thing because they say this is a good job and they pay well. When I got my check and I looked at those numbers, I'm like, what are those? You know, because I'm used to working hard because I am an entrepreneur in my gut.
Right.
That's not everybody. And we have to accept that. And as entrepreneurs, you know, I see sometimes people dumping on employees, and that's really just not the way to go, because there's a certain skill set and a certain mindset that if your mindset isn't right, you're going to tell this person, oh man, you're doing so good, man, you should quit your job and do this thing full time. And then people jump off of that cliff and there's no support there and they plummet.
Yes, because it's like, let me tell you one thing I realized, and I will tell any entrepreneur, your number ones are just as important as you.
That's right.
Your number ones, quote unquote, notice my fingers, work for you. But your number ones actually don't work for you, they work with you.
That's right. Because you couldn't do it without them.
Right. You know, so your number ones are just as important. I tell anybody, maybe you don't want to be the entrepreneur. Maybe you don't want to have work Saturday, work Sunday, work Monday, work Tuesday, work Thursday, work Friday, and then back to Saturday. Maybe
that's right, because you're making a conscious commitment to starve your family of that time.
Right.
The things that you say are important to you and your why.
Right.
You're actually taking from them what you're investing in your business as far as time goes.
Right. But my number ones, both of them have been on vacation this year twice. They've been on a trip twice. I see they ain't been on a trip yet. And
look, I'm gonna tell you, that's funny you should mention that. When I was in the hair industry, my clients would, now listen, this is a regular thing every year. November and December are gonna be feast and famine.
Right.
There's gonna be a famine before the feast.
Right.
Okay. So leading up to Thanksgiving, nobody got their hair done. People who wear locks get their hair done once a month. So you're going to wait until right before Thanksgiving. And I already know that's coming because I've already been doing this 20 years.
Right.
Okay. But because I struggled to work enough early in the year because of injury and pain, and had this happen, or I had to move, or I had different things going on that happen to people all the time, I'm already at a deficit. So when I hit that season, it's like, oh boy, how we gonna get through this thing? But when they all came in right before Thanksgiving, it's like, yes, praise God. You know, flood, and now I can take care of everything. But I was so deep in the hole. So I was like, oh, but then here they come showing me pictures. Oh man, we went to Cozumel. We went to Puerto Rico. We went to Brazil. We went to Ghana. We went to Vegas. And I'm like, man, I want to see your pictures, man. Get that phone out of my face. You're starving. Now y'all working me to pieces.
Right.
I'm exhausted. Like, dang, Sam, for real, you been busy like that? Man, I meant to call you last week, but you think you can squeeze me in? They just want their hair done.
Right.
You know, and even though it's selfish, I appreciate the loyalty.
Right.
You know, that they're coming to me to get their hair done, but you don't understand my knees about to break in half right now.
Right. Right. And see, that's the thing. You know, what we do is wonderful. It is great. But At this point, after 17 years, I've become mature enough to tell people it ain't all a bed of roses.
Right.
In last week, in one day, I went from Columbia to Sumter to Charlotte, spent the night in Charlotte, did business at 7:30 in the morning in Charlotte, was back in Columbia by 10 o'clock to do a job, did that, stayed up to 8 o'clock, started working on the detail shop, turned around and went to bed at 10 o'clock to wake back up the next day at 5 o'clock.
Good God. I mean, you talking about being a gladiator.
Yeah.
You know, and if business is going well, you don't have a lot of opportunity to take a break.
Right. And
But
so,
your employees at home at 5 though.
right. Or 3.
Right, because you're working with them because you care about what matters to them too. You
Right.
making sure they're there when their kids get off the school bus,
Right.
or you got teenagers at home, and you know you need an adult in the house because they off doing something
Right.
that you wouldn't do if they were supervised.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of moving pieces.
It is. And then it's the mental care. My
Mm.
people don't, I am blessed. My people don't ask for much. But when they finally give me a certain tone, they're like, boss, I need a break. Okay, you can be a dummy if you want to, and and be like, well, I just need you, or you can be like, I got it.
And you have to have it.
And you got to have it.
Because otherwise they'd be all on your Google page leaving bad reviews. Well, they said they was gonna be here at 9 and they ain't get here till about 1:30 and they was looking tired and sleepy and they was grouchy. All of that stuff matters, because they gonna gripe on you. In business, they'll leave you a bad review before they ever leave you a good one.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you what happens after a while. Your long-term customers,
Yes.
it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't leaving no reviews. They roll up on you like you in the hood.
Hey, look, I know where you live. I know. But I mean, real talk. And I mean, it's just a relationship.
Right.
It's another level of it. Like, as a hairstylist, I've had girlfriends to my customers. Who is this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you saying? Oh, okay, Miss Lots lady. Like, baby, don't nobody want your regular little man, okay?
Right.
Don't nobody want him but you. But you can't say that. You still gotta maintain, because they'll screenshot you.
Well, let me tell you what I get. I've had such a long-term relationship with a lot of my customers. I get the phone call at 6:30. CJ, yes, ma'am. I got a party tomorrow, ma'am. I got a party tomorrow. This is 6:30 at night. And what time is your party? 4 in the afternoon? Yes. Okay. Something's broke because you calling me. Well, Charles thought he could hook up a Blu-ray player, and now nothing's working. The TV don't work. The sound system won't work. The pool speakers don't work. Nothing works. And if I have to be embarrassed at the Ladies Rotary Club, Charles is getting divorced. I'll be there. I'll be there at 7:30. Yeah,
yes, ma'am.
Thank you, baby. And that's all they say. Thank you, baby. And
right.
Notice now. See, here's the difference between long-term relationship customers and somebody new. You know what we don't discuss? Price.
Right.
It ain't how much it's gonna be. Blah blah blah. They just like they
I know it's gonna get taken care of.
Right. Come to the end. I've had customers that come to the end. They be like, "Well, CJ, how long was you? How much is?" I'll be like, "Oh, well, it was this figure." And they be like, "Oh no, CJ, you was here all day. That's not enough. We get this is what the check is."
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, and I've learned so many different times over. Price is only an issue in the absence of value.
Right.
So the value comes with the relationship. The relationship inspires you to do things that by the textbook and by most people's business policy, they ain't about to do all that. They're not gonna do that.
Right. They're not coming to your house 7:30 in the morning because you got a 4:30 Rotary Club and they got 2 other jobs scheduled. And
because like poor planning on your part doesn't create an emergency on mine. And I mean, I've had to tell my clients on that. I'm like, man, y'all spoiled, man. Yeah, man, I gotta leave tomorrow, man. I gotta go. Look, what you've been doing? How long did you had to leave tomorrow?
saying, that's how I know you were good. Because all good people say this to their clients. One of my Irish customers gave me this one day. He said, CJ, you know what? You want all your customers fat, happy, and spoiled. I said, fat, happy, and spoiled? What's fat, happy, and spoiled? She said,
Right.
fat, we ain't gonna do it. Happy because it always work, and spoiled because we don't make phone calls. We just call you. I'm like, okay, just really? Just
right. That's how it is. That's how you gonna do me. Okay.
Right. Oh, okay.
Gotta love that.
It's the
Gotta
day
love
before
that.
Thanksgiving. Oh, you want? Oh, okay, sure. I can come right now.
Well, let me ask you this because I wanted to touch a little bit on family a little bit.
Okay.
I know that you and James Shad are brothers, and
Yeah.
I know y'all love y'all mama. Y'all mama love y'all. I want to talk about your mom a little bit because I know she's a huge inspiration in your life and his as well.
My mother was my mother's superwoman. My
Wow.
mother, there's an old commercial, and if you go on YouTube, you can look it up. It's the Ajali commercial.
Is it what?
It's the Ajali commercials. It was an old perfume.
Okay.
It said, I can bring home the bacon, Ajali, fry it up in the pan, Ajali. And the other part, never let you forget you a man, because I'm a woman. That was my mama.
Wow.
My mama could, man. My mama went back to school when I was a kid and got a 4-year degree from USC while raising 2 boys by herself.
Wow.
She later got married to Mr. Herman Davis, turned around, raised 2 more boys while raising the previous 2, made sure everybody got a degree or a college education, made sure my mother does not have a felony offense nor a failure in all of her proceedings.
Wow.
As a lawyer.
What's your mama's name?
Laureen Davis.
Sure, go ahead and shout out your mama, CJ.
Man, Laureen Davis got all the shout outs she need. Me and my brothers joke all the time. We be like, my mom ain't the one to mess with it, because one of us gonna get you. You can't talk about forward.
And then James gonna come and get him out of jail. Now you done made us break the record.
And that's our 11 joke. We just should be like, Jay, you just go to dinner. Somebody got to be able to get us out of jail for what's about to go down. Just
right. I love that. I'm really proud that I have that close relationship with my son Kelvin. He's 20, and I did the mompreneur thing from the time he was 5.
Right.
And, I think it's so important to make sure that we just instill in that in our children.
Right.
That you can't demand respect, but you can command it.
Right.
Because that relationship between excuse me, that relationship between parent and child is something that you have absolute responsibility and control over.
Right.
If you're intentional about it and you instill those values, they don't get to a point where you go, well, why you start doing that? Because you've been in their head.
Right. And that's absolutely true. My I always, people ask me about my mom, but I always want to give my dad some credit too, because
I love it.
Herman Davis was not playing. The reason I didn't do stuff, I lived in Atlanta for 13 years. The reason I didn't do certain things, because I thought to myself, if I go to jail and Herman Davis got to ride 3 hours to come get me, I'm staying in jail.
He already let you know what time it was.
Right.
Like been letting you know as long as you remember anything, you already knew what time it was.
Exactly. I mean, but he was a man's man, and that's something that we really strive to. I remember in Atlanta, I was hanging out with this group of guys, and I got jumped. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you the difference between a man's man and a lot of people who say they're men.
Okay.
And this is where I get my standard from. My daddy called up his brothers. His brothers called up my cousins. They was all finna get in the truck and come to Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about to be that party.
It's time to just have a movement right now, because we got to go handle some business.
Yeah, it's a family affair, but not in
Right.
a good way.
Oh man, that's so many families don't have that right now.
Right.
And that's why I think it's important to have these conversations. We like 25 minutes. I already knew this thing wasn't gonna be short.
Right.
But let me kind of swerve back around.
Okay.
Um, um, what inspired you to know that you wanted to get into this field? And
Um,
when did you know it? And what inspired you?
my mom and dad went to dinner one day and
Mhm.
left me at the house by myself. So I just kept looking around the room, man. I want stereo sound in my room. I want stereo sound in my room. So what I did was I took a receiver, put it in the top of the closet, ran an extension cord down the back of the closet over to a plug, turned around and hooked 4 speakers to it, ran it up into the attic, and then hung them around the room.
Nice. And how old were you?
Let's say somewhere between 12 and 14.
Oh yeah, that's when the grown up wheels start turning for real.
Right. And so what it was something my dad said. He said, his thing was whatever you are good at, do that.
Yes.
And you will make money. Cause like Jamie could read. Jamie used to crush spelling bees, and I used to be looking at little white kids like, don't get beat up. Don't don't get beat up. Because they'd get mad. Jamie skipped, I think, kindergarten and might have skipped first grade. He was
Wow.
that level. But I
Uh-huh.
use his talent to compare it to my talent. At 10, I had a bicycle shop. I was literally buying, selling, and building bicycles. I said that to help all the mothers out there, and you're trying to figure out where to guide your child. Look at what their
Yeah.
natural talent is. And I'm not talking about just athletics.
Yes.
Don't maybe your kid won't be the superstar running back, but maybe your kid is just good with math. I mean,
Right.
you in the grocery store going, how much is this an ounce? And they're going 12 cents. Really?
Right. I mean, and just fostering that thing, just fostering and nourishing what's already in them. And that makes me think about partnership that I'm doing with Kevin Raspberry. You know Kevin, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working with him on Legacy Ed, which is a private private magnet school program.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll have his interview coming up soon. I did one with him a while ago, but not in this format. But to bring things back to what you were saying, as far as guiding your children up with their natural talents.
And see, that's the thing when you talk about Kevin. Kevin has an amazing gift for teaching children. Now, what we need to do is put money behind it and put
Yes.
support behind it. I mean, when he gets his building, Wiremonkey is going to do a lot for him at a low cost. What we can get away with no cost, because I still got to pay people, but
Right.
at a low cost,
Materials. Yeah.
right?
Well,
Because I can get
go
Kevin.
ahead.
Kevin can educate a generation, and he understands how to get into that young male mind and produce enough reverential fear to be like, yeah, you don't really want to mess with Mr. Kevin. But at the same time, produce enough love to be like, I can't wait to see Mr. Kevin.
That is, and that isn't that just a gift,
Right.
you
Be
know?
like, you
Oh
gonna
man.
tell Mr. Kevin you ain't gonna put on your jacket. We gonna stand over here for this.
Right, right. I love that, man. Strong men, and especially in our Black community, with all that we've suffered over the years, and I mean, something I love that Kevin does is sharing African American history, because it's so much more than slavery, and I think it's so important that we understand where we come from.
Absolutely. Let me
The works of our ancestors and how the groundwork was laid for us to get to where we are, although we have so much more work to do.
Absolutely. That's why, like, for me, the cotton gin, when we talk about the cotton gin or whatever else, that helped me
Hmm.
because it taught me that, wait a minute now, they invented the cotton gin, they invented the red light, they invented heart surgery.
Hmm.
We're doing something wrong if they invented all this with nothing. We got all this and we're not inventing anything.
Right. And and what I'm excited about is that there are so many people, so many bright minds, young and old,
Mm-hmm.
They are doing so many things that we just aren't aware of. And that's
That
what,
don't that will never get advertised. That's where you are important. I'm a
yeah,
big believer in 1921. And
yes,
and so I think our way of getting it is to own and develop our own. You
yes.
know, your videos right now, you are like our mini news reporter because you remind me of Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
Walter was nobody wanted to talk to Uncle Walt because Walt asked you some real questions. If you ever want to see some real questions, come to your Facebook thing. You be like, ooh, okay. Do I want to try to give the fluff answer or do I want to tell the truth? And then you think about it as Cassandra, and you be like, yeah, let's just go with the answer. I might not like the response, but yeah,
You keep a real homegirl. Everybody needs one, you
right,
know. But I mean, whether it comes to like, dating and relationships, man, I've been big sister to a lot of men, a lot
right,
of them much older than me.
right.
Different things like, if you're you looking to get involved with a young lady and you lead with, well, I got this much money and I got this and that. The type of fish you catch depends on the bait you use. So
Absolutely.
you can't wag some money in her face and then you get her and then turn around and want to call her a gold digger. Come on,
Right.
man.
But see,
Let's
that's the
be
thing.
real.
But see, it's the thing is for our culture to heal and grow,
Yes. Come on.
everybody has to participate. We're gonna
And we
need some
gotta hold
sisters.
each other accountable. We gotta tell the
Yeah,
truth.
we're gonna
Yeah.
need some sisters to hold some bruh. No, you I got a friend that has an alternative lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain people that if she saw me talking to, she'd just grab me by the hand. No, you can't play with that one. That one's just
Mm,
you can't. That one's trifling. That ain't
mm.
even. You got ignorant and you got trifling.
Ignorant, you just don't know. Trifling, you ain't trying to know anyway because you love the ratchetness.
Right,
You with the foolishness every day.
right. I got a bunch of sisters that I absolutely love. All y'all. Y'all might let me talk to ignorant for a little while. They be like, maybe she gonna catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Trifling, y'all be like, come here. No, no, he can't talk to you no more.
Yeah, want to be like, hey, how you doing, sweetie? What's your name? Listen, you know what? You rocking those shoes, girl. Excuse, can I borrow him for a minute? And we're gonna have a real quick conversation. You don't know what just went down. Come here. Look. I'll tell you about it later. You hear me? No. My son calls me the young Madeira. Look, we gonna keep it real if we don't do nothing else out here, okay?
And in Colombia, you have it developing. You have this 1921 atmosphere, but the culture's got to be developed. I often say politics without money
Mm-hmm.
does little. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to develop our own businesses and our own institutions so that
That thing again, you said politics.
without money, it produces nothing. It makes
Right,
nothing.
right.
We've got to develop our own finances, our own institutions, whether it's you or whether it's Kevin, that we can depend on as we
Mm-hmm.
try to develop into our own cultural group. We have so long borrowed from everybody, we don't know our own identity. We
Well,
don't
I
have
think it comes down to a collaborative effort
mm-hmm,
amongst lots of people.
mm-hmm,
And I don't always mean just us people of color, because
right,
there are certain resources that we need to tap into, and
right,
it should not come down to, excuse me, do you look like me? Do you
right,
vote like me? Do you pray like me? Do you
right.
look like me? If it comes down to that and you'll cut off your nose to spite your face, then that's ignorant.
That's true. But what I'm saying is,
Mm-hmm.
what we definitely need everybody that is willing to participate and help us
Mm-hmm.
to help us.
We got to look out for us because we know what type of challenges we are up against.
Right. But and the only thing I'm saying is, I don't want to. I don't want to be the person that is looking for somebody. Nobody has to give it to me. I'm gonna already be in motion so that when you come along and decide to help, there's
Yes,
something to help too.
it gives you a boost
Right.
because that's what we should be doing for each other. We edify and enriching, and I say all the time, my workshops are designed to make sure that we're more educated, empowered, and resourceful, just because we know each other.
Well,
So,
it's funny. Here's a perfect example of resourceful. When we
mhm,
first started about doing this interview this afternoon, we was on the cell phone in the truck. The phone overheated because it's in the truck. Okay, fine. We gave the phone 10 minutes. It didn't work. But because, and this is also a case of preparation, because I'm a business person, I believe in spending money on materials that help me make money. One of them is this Surface.
Okay.
It is battery operated and it has a cell phone chip in it.
Okay. Always has its own signal.
It has its own signal. So how are you a business person who is always on the move? You get a big bonus. You get $1,500, $2,000, whatever. And you won't spend $800 on the Surface, but you will spend $400 on a pair of shoes.
Woo! Because it ain't about what it looks like.
Right.
It ain't about what it looks like.
Man,
but you said that.
Think about this. This was in the truck. So when the phone didn't work, I had another option. Okay, but I had prepared for the other option before I needed it.
Love that. Yeah. And I mean, sometimes you don't know that you need to take certain precautions. Right. And that's why it's important to surround yourself with other people who have been where you're trying to go.
Right. And you know, I love to mentor. I love to coach. I love to help people that's starting a business or in a business, and they're like, well, how do I expand? How do I do this? You know, and I just love that. I mean, I love to give in that way because it was given to me. I was blessed. You know, I had wonderful parents. I had 4 brothers, and my baby brother says it the best. David said, when he met his girlfriend, this is what he said. He said, in my family, we don't do failure. We don't even get knocked down. And if we get knocked down, we're going to get up mad.
I love it. I love it. So, yeah, I love it. I mean, and that's just resilience. Resilience really can be instilled in your children. It's not like it's just naturally inborn into you. But as parents, as mentors, as friends, as peers, it's got to be an intentional effort.
Yes.
To make sure that we're instilling that resilience and an abundance mindset into each other. Because none of us is up every day.
No.
You know? Like some of the things that we've been going through, we all going through ebbs and flows of rough times. Right. You know, and it's not always financial.
No.
You know, sometimes it's your health. Sometimes it's your mental state. Sometimes somebody that's around you, you got to be pouring more into them, and you're not getting a lot poured into you. Right. So that's how we invest that value and that energy into each other, and that's how we become stronger as a whole.
Absolutely. I mean, I every time you say something, it inspires me to say different things. Like I have one friend named TT. I call TT 3 o'clock in the morning. I have called TT 3 o'clock in the morning and been boo-hoo crying. And she's like, what's wrong? What's good? Are you okay? Are you safe? Are you this? You know, she jumps into mother mode and she's like, are you this? Are you this? Are you this? Now after she figures out I'm all in one piece, what's going on?
Right.
And see, the thing is, we all need those people.
Right. We got to be that person as well. You got to be a soft place for someone to land emotionally sometimes. Now, that doesn't mean you coddle them.
Right.
Or that you make it okay, you know, where now, you know what, you know, forget about the responsibilities that you have. Because I feel sorry for you, and it's okay for you to wallow and not ever get up.
Yes, because I have, and I like what you said, hold each other accountable. I have another female friend. Her name is Corey. I remember I was thinking about doing something one day, and Corey, now this is a queen statement. This, and I mean, she said it as cool as you could say it. She turned to me and said, that would be beneath you. I was like,
and that's how you speak to the king and somebody.
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. You know,
she didn't scream. She didn't give a whole dissertation. She hit me. I was like, you know what? I don't even like you no more.
Right. Because that thing hurts sometimes. Sometimes you just want to be petty. There's a whole lot of time. I don't know if you saw this post that I put up about Nelson Mandela and one of his college professors. That's definitely read worthy. But look, I said, man, Nelson Mandela was petty.
Right.
He was petty. And I mean, anytime you teach somebody something as you reprove them in a way that's so smooth,
That's
It
what
can
it's at.
make an impression on your psyche.
Let me tell you, but you said something. That's the way queens work. I have a saying I wrote on a t-shirt one time. I said, queens whisper, hoes holler.
Whoa! Boy, you a bad boy. Oh, that's
That's the reason they said a queen on his left side. The crown prince was on his right because that was his future. The queen was on his left because she protected him. When everybody was talking to the king, she just turned to her right and go, no, we ain't gonna do that.
That's class.
There's a movie I really like. I would love for couples to see. It's called The Gentleman. I think it's Matthew McConaughey and all that. Watch him, but watch her.
Okay.
She never comes out, no matter what's going on, she never comes out of character.
Wow. That's power. Because that's the difference between meekness and weakness.
Right.
You can be meek and not you don't have to be boisterous or loud in order to display your strength.
Yes.
Sometimes biting your tongue is where the strength lies. And we just in this petty society right now.
Yes.
Where it's like, what? Well, I'ma outdo you. I'm put you on blast. I'll put you on blast. So everything is so public. But when you keep things on a need to know basis, because the person you're talking to, they're the only person that really needs to know where you're coming from.
Right.
So you don't have to air out dirty laundry. You don't expose what happened within your relationship. You don't tell everybody else the business is going on in the tight circle, like with, Chadwick Boseman's family.
Right.
Not his information out there. What his health concern was. Nobody knew. And now that man is legendary because he did the things that he did. He gave those lessons and he pulled up and inspired people just in his existence.
But can I tell you how much of a kingdom that is? Their number one thing was to protect the king. See, our culture.
Oh, I love it.
If you look at our culture and go back in history, we always had kings.
Yes.
The difference between our kings and other kings is our kings were always benevolent. They understood the cost of war. So they actually thought it all the way through and said, is there any way to have peace before war? Now, once they decided to go to war, they were better than everybody else. And if you have
because they knew that there would come a time for war. You understand the necessity of it at given times. But that's only when you've exhausted
everything else. If you don't believe me, go back and study the lesson of Shaka Zulu. First, they tried to come at it with some brute game. They came up on that ridge and saw 10,000. I think it was a large mass of Zulu troops that hid down in this ravine, and you couldn't see them looking across the plain. You couldn't see them till you got right up on the ravine.
I want you to think you got me. Come on over.
And he was sitting there going, "You sure you don't want to do this? You sure there's no way we can negotiate? You don't want to be peaceful? You don't want to leave in peace?"
No, we ain't gonna work it out. You really want to do it? Okay. Here
we go.
Right.
And came with some tactics. They had cannons, guns, and all that, and got wiped completely out.
It's something else when somebody underestimates you.
Right.
That's why I say I want you to go ahead and sleep on me. Take a whole hibernation nap. Go ahead and go to sleep.
And so when I look at what we have to do to empower our culture, we have several steps. First of all, our men have got to go back to being men. Own responsibility. Her working is a option.
Because you're really capable of that. And that comes along with that abundance mindset. If we get stuck on how hard things are, or I got this disadvantage, or I got that working against me, no, you can sharpen your tool better than that.
Right.
If you intend on it, you have to make your mind up to do that. To start on that path.
I'll give you a simple path I gave to men when they want to talk. I said, fellas, go buy you 1 acre. You can buy you 1 acre for 5, 6, 7, 8 grand. That's all. Just buy you 1 acre. Next year, said it'll take you 4 years, but you could build a house in 4 years debt free. Now, if
Mm.
the average relationship lasts 4 years or longer, or 3 years, don't take no dimes from her, no penny. She can come out there. She can buy you a sandwich. She can give you some water. She can keep you company, but she cannot pay for nothing.
Hmm.
If she is, I don't even want you to get a loan, but if she gives you a loan, you be determined to get that money back to her as fast as possible, because you need to always be able to say my house, not in a point of disrespect, but from a point of
Right.
responsibility.
Well, ownership is sovereignty, and we got to understand that. You know, I tell you, it's always a pleasure to see young women. I don't care what age,
Mhm.
really, because you might not be that young anymore by typical, you know, the thought of it.
Right,
But if you still got breath in your body and you 10 toes down, you still have a chance to do whatever you want to do.
right.
So it's wonderful to see women doing that, but I see a lot of um, role reversal happening.
You do,
You know,
because
you see a
here's,
lot of women in a really masculine frame, and you
yes,
see a lot of men in a very feminine
yes,
frame. So if there's that imbalance in place, you'll always have a power struggle. It's really unnecessary if we hold ourselves to higher standards.
right. And you don't have to build 4,000 square feet. Start with 1,500, 2,000. The
Right,
and fellas, let me tell you something. She gonna be impressed that you own it. She gonna be like, you own it? Yeah. Well, how much is your mortgage? No, there is no mortgage.
right,
I own it. Out.
right,
Can't nobody come take nothing.
right. And that's where the shifting of priorities comes in.
Right,
Because you're being guided, through a train of thought that's actually going to lead to you having something
right,
rather than pretending to have things that you don't yet, you
right,
know. And I mean, I talk to a lot of people, I have the credit literacy thing, good credit, but if you want to get good credit so you can go and get in debt,
why?
that ain't it. If your credit is great so that you have more purchasing power to put yourself in a position to create more income
Right,
with the goal of becoming completely debt free,
right,
and now you can build a legacy. Then you can build an empire. And if you're blessed and fortunate to have someone to step into your life who has that same mindset, so you're co-visionaries and create the
yes,
that you desire and you deserve,
right,
then that's something to aspire to. Not
yes,
look around in all the shoes that programming has told you should be wearing, or driving the car that programming has told you, hey, this meets the standard of what someone expects of you.
right. Yeah, and see, it's things like that that have to change in our mindset, you know, and we have to just keep pushing it forward. Like people like you, people like Kevin, people like James Shad, people that are
People like you.
that are saying, hey, let's look at what's good, take that, but reject all the fluff.
Yes.
You know,
Because
I
either
follow
it
you,
is or it isn't.
huh?
Because I said, because it's either it is or it isn't. It's not about what it looks like. It's about authenticity
Right,
and truthfully building a firm foundation from the bottom up. Not let's put up all of these shiny lights and glitter and impress you from a distance, but it's all made with quicksand at the bottom.
right. Because it's like I,
Standard.
I would tell any man, if you got 1 acre
Mm-hmm.
and you got a partially built house that you're building debt free,
Mm-hmm.
and she's dating somebody who has 4,000 square feet but got a $400,000 mortgage
Mm-hmm.
and got you know a $700 truck note, and I don't even care if he can afford it. That's great
Right.
for him. And she's more impressed with him than
Mm-hmm.
she is with you. She really doesn't understand long term.
And I'm gonna take it a step further, because maybe you won't say it, but I will. But if that's the caliber of your mindset, then she doesn't deserve you.
Right,
Because it's like I've seen it said in a few different ways. A strong woman can make a weak man strong,
right,
but a weak woman can bring a strong man down.
absolutely.
So if the mindset, if you're really not Oh man, I'm not even gonna go on that end of the conversation, but if her mindset isn't already there and you can't lead her to it because she's not willing to follow you there,
Right,
you're wasting your time,
right,
you're wasting your resources, and
right,
you have to release people to have time to grow,
right,
heal,
right.
to evolve, to be at the same vibrational frequency as you're at in order to achieve your greatest good, in order to achieve your purpose and your mission.
And you know what? That goes back to bringing it all back to business. I've seen many a business person KO'd by their personal life.
Woo! Boy, you better say that. Listen, I've had that conversation 4 times this week with 4 different people. Do you speak on it, brother?
You got it, birds and females. Females, if you want to be led, you have got to date a pure D alpha and all that comes with it, just the good and the bad.
It's what it is.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Fellas, if you want to lead, you've got to develop yourself into the personality that can go, you know what? We just gonna get this done.
Mm-hmm.
But if your personal life is in a continual state of chaos, you will always fail.
Mm-mm.
If you, I'll speak to the fellas because I'm a fella. If you're dating a female that every day you come home, there's an argument, walk. Because how are you going to focus on conquering the world when you can't get peace at home? When you can't get back to the cave and rest, when you're restless, you will do restless things.
Wow.
Ladies, if he can't say, okay, here's the vision, here's the plan, here's how we're going to get there, here's where I think it's going to be easy, and here's where I think it's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
What are you following?
But not only that, but if he can say that and you can't follow,
Yeah.
you always gonna be having to carry the whole load on your back. His
Yep.
shoulders are wider than yours for a reason.
Yep.
So if you can't trust his plan and get behind it, you putting yourself in a position that you already know is not gonna last.
And you might as well walk away.
Now,
Yep. Now here's the thing.
it's get more complicated.
You know what? I like what you said. Now here's the fun. I like to stick the caveat at the end. Now you don't get to wait till he meets somebody else and turn it on and then be like, oh, I thought,
And vice versa.
yeah.
You, look,
You trying to jump on the train after it's moving?
look, I'm gonna tell you something, and I tell people, for me, transparency is therapeutic. There's certain things that if you don't get it when you're going through it,
Right.
again,
Right.
I get it that time.
Right.
You won't see it again, and
Right.
you're gonna end up with a repetitive pattern of poor choices because you didn't get the lesson the first time. Now, I'm gonna tell you, being very opinionated is very challenging when it
Right.
comes to dating because one, I'm not the person that wants to take the lead and say, hey, let me lead you. But
Right.
as I say all the time, we're all the product of our environment,
Right.
exposures, and experiences.
Right.
So it's not just what you grew up around, and it's not just places that you've been, but it's experiences you've had and
Right.
trains of thought that you've been exposed to. And if you eat the fish and you leave
Yeah.
the bones on the plate, because every lesson you go through is the whole fish.
Right.
If you take the meat and you eat what's going to nourish and fortify you that you can grow from, and you leave the bones on the plate so you ain't got to choke on it,
Right.
and don't let the lesson take you out, but remember the lessons and release the pain.
Yes.
So, at some point we got to say, you know what, I want to be on a steep learning curve. So I
Right.
was on this trajectory, and hey, if I just kind of sort of pay attention to what's happening around me, then I may mature a little bit. But if you're intentional and you seek out people who have been where you're trying to go,
Right.
the elders, if you're talking about relationships, if you're talking about business, if you're talking about health, if you're talking about profits, whatever it is, you find somebody who's an expert at that. Some
Right.
people have been through experiences you haven't been through, even in relationships. So if you can take advantage of that and apply
Right.
what other people have learned and their wisdom, then you can come a long way a lot faster and miss out on opportunity that will really improve your life.
Absolutely.
Get those number ones that you talked about earlier. You know, those people that need to be right by your side, whether that's your right hand man, whether that's your wife, whether that's your husband, whether that's your mentors, or
Right.
whether it's people who you mentor. You bring
Right.
those people into your life and you maintain those relationships because you've taken the lesson rather
Right.
than being stubborn and egotistical and not allowing the message to permeate your mind.
Yeah, and for young CEOs or new CEOs or people that's just getting there, this is one of the greatest things I can tell you. Bring smart people with you and listen. We regularly get in meetings, and if Kim has if JB, I like him. If JB has a better way of doing it than I do, I'll be like, okay, well, let's do that.
Right. Be willing to mutually submit to each other because it makes sense and because we're learning from each other, not because we got to be right.
Right. It's funny. Last thing I'm gonna say, because I like to give living examples. So JB was working on a job today.
Now, who's JB?
Jamal Bradley. He works with me.
Okay.
He
Okay.
he basically runs the crews over at Wiremonkey.
Okay.
So he was working at a restaurant today, and last couple of days he's had to do a bunch of stuff by himself. So he called me and he was like, I got this going, blah, blah, blah. I left what I was doing and went over there and helped him. But here's the thing I told him when I crawled up into the attic today. I said, I'm the helper today. Whatever you need me to do, I can do.
Wow. That's powerful.
And move like the helper. Not, oh, well, he was like, well, I need this. Okay, well, I'm going to go do that. Well, I'm going to I'm going to go do that. With exuberance and excitement, because today my job is not CEO, it's not boss, it's not owner, it's helper. Help you get this done.
Right. Because at the end of the day, the mission is all that matters.
Right.
Not the title.
Right.
Not the position.
Right.
Because, although it's your name on the door, at the end of the day, you're all committed to the same mission.
Right.
That's powerful. But I think we're going to end on that note because, we could go on for a while.
Right.
I appreciate your time today. I'm going to come back up for anybody that needed the information to get in touch with CJ. Obviously, as you see, a man full of wisdom and experience. This is CJ Willis with Wiremonkey LLC, based out of Columbia, South Carolina, but serving all of South Carolina and some areas of North Carolina and Georgia. Hit him up. If you take care of him, I think he'll come and see you if you need him.
All right.
His website is www.wiremonkeyav.com. That's for audiovisual. And his number is 803-741-5405. And I am your hostess with the mostest, Cassandra Edwards. These are QuickWits interviews. This one is actually, I don't even know what to call this interview, except it was just magnanimous and awesome. I appreciate every conversation I'm able to have with you. So if you're watching this and you want to schedule a QuickWits interview, they're normally 3 to 5 minutes long. And right now we're doing those at no charge, just to introduce you, make it effortless for me to introduce you to like-minded professionals across the country and around the world. My number is 803-238-0974. My website is chosenfew.cedwards. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks again, CJ.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm sure we're going to be working together in the future, collaborating somehow or the other. But we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for watching and get in touch with us. Have a great day, you guys. Thanks, CJ. Bye.